How's it going, everybody? I'm going to be doing gum chewing, answering the questions you guys gave me on the vid I put up last Saturday. Got quite a few here, which is good. Thanks, everybody. Some of these are repeated, from other Q&As I've had. I've gotten similar questions, but I don't mind. So when new subs come in, they get to hear those answers now, so all works out. The first one here is from, I'm probably going to pronounce some of your people's screen names wrong. I apologize. Hurls or Hearls? Hurls asks, why did you start YouTube? Well, I'll answer that actually from both channels. My video game channel I started in 2009 because I was originally looking up the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary figures had come out, and I started buying some because I'm like, you know what, I grew up with these, maybe they'll have some value. I ended up selling them all. Maybe 7 or 8 years later. I was looking those up and I came across video game channels. Now, I might have seen a video or two on YouTube before that. I know YouTube's been around since 06. But either way, I was like, oh shit, people, collections. Luke Morse 1 was a person I really liked. I think he still makes videos. Pete Dorr. There's a bunch of people. There's a guy named Splatter Trigger. And then there was people, I went back and forth with who we didn't have huge sub counts or anything, but some did. But I was like, oh man, I want to show my games. So I started up a channel in late August of 2009. And the motivation was I just wanted to show my games as well and my pickups. And then when it came to this channel, I was looking for someone else's channel because they did video game stuff. And they had an ASMR channel. I'm like, what is this? So I look it up and I'm like, there's a whole community based on this. I didn't even know what ASMR was. I knew the sensation, how you felt with certain voices or sounds or whatever. I'm like, this is a whole thing. And I was like, had been doing some videos on my other channel. But I was like, I want to give this a shot too. And I started this channel as well. I'm glad I can still do the gaming stuff on here also, which is nice. But I was just like, this seems interesting. I want to give it a shot. Almost a kind of a second chance a little bit of YouTube because I stopped making vids, and then it was like nobody was watching my other stuff anymore. Like even the people that were subbed to me were, probably either were gone or their accounts were kind of just dead. But and here I am now, over 4,000. Once again, thank you very much to everyone who has subbed. But it was interesting, and at first I was like, man, this is odd. It felt weird doing the videos, especially when you do your first role plays and stuff. Like, oh my god, and then you get used to it. I've had a lot of fun with it. That's the first question. Next one here is from Archiebeau13. Archiebeau13. I have two questions here. First one is, do you ever watch soccer? I've occasionally watched, World Cup stuff. I'll occasionally watch, and when the Olympics, they do it in the Olympics, right? Maybe it's the World Cup I'm thinking of, but they have done it in the Olympics, right? Do they do the Olympics and World Cup similar with soccer or football everywhere else but here? Where it's you do kind of round robin where you get the points and then you got to move into the thing. But either way, I've done the World Cup and I watched the World Cup. I know some of the more popular names of guys, but I don't really know many at all. I know a lot of teams, like Manchester United and Manchester City, right? Blackpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, Chelsea. I know names and stuff because soccer is always kind of fascinating to me. but I never gotten super into it. I played some of it, especially the original FIFA. Me and my friends used to always play. It was so good. I played some of the one for like 4 years ago. Like what, Bayern Munich is one, right? I probably said that wrong. And like they have all the countries over there in Europe have their, I think England has their own, and then the other ones have their league or at the champions. So it's like a crazy thing for all those countries. It's like such a big deal. But yeah, occasionally I will. And he says, love the vids as well. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. One of my favorite bands, I've said this before, it changes from time to time as well. All time, it's pretty, Helmet Ministry, and Faith No More are always going to kind of be in my top three. I love those three bands. I've seen Helmet twice and Faith No More once. Never seen Ministry. I'd like to, but I heard their shows can get pretty crazy. And with my anxiety and stuff, I don't want anything too over the top. But I really do enjoy the three of those bands for a ton. I've been listening to a ton of Buckethead lately. I've always kind of liked Buckethead, at least. Well, not always. I didn't follow him earlier in his career. He's been around for a bit now. But maybe it was like late 90s, early 2000s or something. But he's really good. Iron Maiden, I used to love as a kid. I still listen to them from time to time as well. They're still good. I kind of fell out of Maiden after I really liked Brave New World when Bruce Dickinson left and he came back. It's funny too because those two albums, I forget the guy's name. After Bruce Dickinson left after Fear the Dark, I wasn't really into that much. But the first two albums Iron Maiden has with, what was his name, Paul Di'Anno, Killers and Iron Maiden, are both awesome. They're like punkish albums. It's actually really kind of a different style than they went into. Those albums are awesome. The other albums aren't bad, but I don't like them nearly as much as like most of the other albums. Brave New World came out. I actually saw him on that tour in Madison Square Garden. That was cool. And they put out another album, and it just was like the same thing. And then they put out like another 3 or 4 albums, and it was just like I felt like it was just like Brave New World over and over again. I was kind of lost interest. But stuff like Peace of Mind and Power Slave, and like I said, the Killers are awesome. Fear the Dark's really good. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. You know what? Somewhere in Time is fucking amazing. That might be my favorite album by them. Power Slave is incredible too. And Number of the Beast, and No Prayer for the Dying's all right. It's grown on me over the years. But Maiden, House in Chains, I like. CKY, I really like. A ton. I'll listen to almost anything too. I listen to a lot of actually nowadays. Game sound. I've been listening to a lot of the Final Fantasy X-2 soundtrack, which is amazing. I love video game soundtracks. I love orchestral stuff in general. It's phenomenal. Megadeth, Metallica, Tom Petty for the the mellower stuff. Pink Floyd. Those are some of them. But thank you for your question. Next one here is from Manju69. He says, I'm the GOAT. He always puts little goats for his comments. Thank you very much. I'm glad. It means a lot, and I appreciate that you do like my stuff that much. It's awesome to know people really do enjoy my stuff. But he asks, are you a UFC fan? If so, what fight do you like watching? I'm not huge on UFC. I've seen some matches like over the years, like maybe like I was like Kem Shamrock and stuff. I remember like occasionally seeing stuff even back. What was that like? Maybe was that even like the mid '90s? Like really early on. I don't know a lot of people. I know know who Conor McGregor is, and Daniel Cormier. I've seen a few of his. I know Brock Lesnar was in there for a bit. I don't really know a lot of people. I could watch them, and I may not know who they are, but it is always there's something about two people just like old school, like taking it all the way back, Roman times or even before that, probably. Two people just kind of in an arena themselves, just using what they were born with to go at it. And the respect. I know a lot of it's for show, and then a lot of them do after the fight. Some of them hate each other, I guess, all the time, but there is like a respect there and stuff too, and you gotta give credit to the people who do it, because they just get in there and you're like, it's just you and your body, no weapons. Your body is your only weapon. So I have seen some, but not a lot. But I do, I don't like it or hate it, but I am impressed by a lot of the guys, even though I don't really know any of their names. But yeah, thanks for your question. Let's see this one. This is from Dalius InSearch. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry if I didn't. They ask, what are your top 5 favorite books? I probably... which one is it? I think it's the Sword of Destiny Witcher one. I think is awesome. I'd put that in my top 5. I probably could just say all Witcher books, but that one definitely... I think that was the one... It had a couple of... There was like a few of them are broken up with just kind of short stories, and that one had some really good ones in it, for sure. There's a couple Stephen King books I really like. I'm trying to think though. Green Mile I actually really liked. That was a really good book. The movie was good too, but that book was really good. What else did he do? There was another one that I really liked that he did. Why can't I remember what the hell the name of it is? I can't remember. Oh, God. Bag of Bones is another one. That's not the one I'm thinking of. Bag of Bones I really like. Some of his books are really long. A lot of his themes are similar, but he's obviously done a ton of different stuff. That one was really good. I like some of the Harry Potter books quite a bit too. They're nice, kind of easy reads, and it is a great world. The Lord of the Rings are awesome. I don't read a ton, unfortunately. I probably should read more, but I really like the Witcher books. I'm trying to think, what are the other... There are some... Nightmares and Dreamscapes is another one by Stephen King. That's just a bunch of short stories. That was really good as well. Like I said, I've read a decent amount of books over the years, but I don't have like a ton of favorites. I like a lot of like the haunting type books, and so the scary story books are really good, even though they're just like quick little stories. Like I said, the Witcher books are all awesome. I love them all. I gotta finish the one, actually 2, I think. They're really good, for sure. I always want to get into more, but I don't. Some of those Thomas Frank's books are really good. He's a political kind of commentator, historian type as well. Those are pretty good also. But yeah, those are ones, I'm sure I can think of others that I've read and I'm forgetting, but thank you for your question. Black Scorpio X asks, at first, there's 3 here. What type of music do you like? Pretty much, like I said earlier, pretty much anything. I'll listen to some Lady Gaga stuff. I love the video game soundtracks and that orchestral type stuff. I love metal. Even some country tunes. I like, rock and roll, regular rock, the grunge alternative stuff, industrial. I'll listen to almost, if I like the sound of it, even if it's just like noises and stuff, I'll listen to it. I don't care. Back when I was younger, I was a little bit of I think a lot of people are, I was a little bit more of a music snob. Like, oh, my bands are incredible, yours sucks, Then you start listening to everything, and you're like, yeah, it's all good, You can find something good in any genre, really, if you looked hard enough. Second question is favorite movies. Top 2 are Blair Witch Project, the original one from 99, and Ravenous, which I should probably do a review on at some point. Those 2 movies are incredible. I did the review on Blair Witch. Only movie that ever had me on the edge of my seat in the theater. It was awesome. I loved that movie. I used to watch that movie when it first came out on DVD. I think I had it on VHS as well, but I got it on DVD also. Now I have it on Blu-ray. Blu-ray had like extra endings, which were kind of cool, but didn't really. Some of them, I guess, made a little sense, but some were kind of just stupid. They all involved Mike in the basement, but I used to watch that all the time when I had it on DVD. Like, I was watching it like 4 times a week. Like, it was weird, actually, if I think about it now. But Ravenous is incredible. It's like kind of a dark, kind of almost like a dark comedy, but, you know, it is a very dark humor in there, is for sure. And it's got Robert Carlyle, Guy Pearce, the 2 main people. David Arquette's in there, Neil McDonough, Jeffrey Jones, a few other people as well. That has to do with it takes place in like the 1800s, and Guy Pearce ends up at this fort. He gets like sent to this fort because he's screwed up or whatever. He's a soldier, and then Robert Carlyle shows up and he's all screwed up. It's pretty much about cannibalism and stuff. It's kind of like the Donner Party. Ties up with cannibalism. There's a lot of dark humor in there, but it's actually I really love that movie a lot. Awesome soundtrack too. I used to own that soundtrack. I think I still have it somewhere. It's so good. The soundtrack for that's so good. Anybody look up the Ravenous soundtrack even on YouTube. It's awesome. Club Dread I really like. Last Action Hero is awesome. It's just an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with pretty much him making fun of his own movies, which is awesome. Club Dread's by the guys who did Super Troopers and Beer Fest and Slam and Salmon, which I really like. I like most of their movies. Puddle Cruiser, I think, was their first one. I think they have 1 or 2 other ones, Super Troopers 2, and I think there might be 1 or 2 other ones. I could be wrong. I like a lot of horror movies, like the original Halloween's incredible. In the Mouth of Madness is a really good movie. I think that was Wes Craven or Clive Barker, one of the 2. It's got Sam Neill in it. He's like, I think he's an author, but like his book's like coming to life, and he goes to the town, and the people like, I don't know what came first, me or the book. Like, it's like, really check that movie out. It's really good. What else? I don't know if he's actually the author in that, or I think he is, or he just goes there for some reason. I forget. I'm pretty sure he is the author, though. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I like a lot of movies, but I do the paranormal, like the found footage stuff. My friends always rag on me for this. I will watch those found footage movies constantly. A lot of them are not good. Some of them are really good. They're like Leaving DC and stuff. Hell House LLC. I like a lot of the Asian horror. I found a bunch of that kind of stuff on Amazon Prime, so I've been digging into the ones that are kind of just short, quick ones. They have like 10 in an anthology or whatever. But I love that stuff. I don't know why. I just love the way they do horror. I just love it. I mean, I like the horror over here as well, but they just, I don't know, it's something. I don't know. It's the way. I don't know. It's the way it's directed or something. I don't know, but I love that stuff. Those are some of them. And the last one's favorite food. My favorite food is chicken fingers. I've probably said this before. I could eat it all the time. I'm always eating chicken tenders, chicken fingers, whatever you want to call them. I'm a very plain eater too. Like if I have a hot dog, it's always plain. Sometimes I won't put anything on my burgers. But it's gotta be chicken tenders and barbecue sauce. I love it. Anywhere I go, I'm like, just have chicken tenders on the menu. But yeah, those are your questions, and thank you for them. Next one here is from Scott Fisher. I was like nervous about saying the name, but your name is your screen name, so it doesn't matter, or unless it's not your name. I don't know, but greetings from a rather rainy Glasgow. Am I saying that right? Scotland. It's also awesome that people like my stuff from all over the world. It's like so cool when someone's like, "Oh, I'm from so-and-so." You're like, "Holy shit, this is so cool!" It's a good way to reach out to people too from all over the place. They ask, "Will you?" This is actually this was actually going to happen, but it didn't. First question is, will you purchase the PS5 when it's released? I was considering actually doing it. And then I ended up getting the Switch. I'm kind of glad I did. I knew it was going to be 500, and I think the discless one is 4. Some Final Fantasy is exclusive, I think, to it too. I think it's on PC, but console exclusive. I was like really close to being like, you know what, I'm gonna get it. I hadn't gotten a system on release date since the GameCube. You know, the Xbox 360 when that came out, I got like 4 months after or something like that, or maybe 5 months after it came out. And the Xbox One, I waited like 3 years. And even the Switch, for that matter, has been out for 3 years. But then we got the Switch, and I was like, you know, I'm happy with it. And I'm sure they're going to be putting out games for the Xbox One and PS3, 4 that are on the newer consoles for the next maybe year or two. You're going to get a decent amount of them on the older consoles. So I'm going to probably wait about 2 years to get it. But I'm definitely getting the PS5 this time. I'm not. I kind of regretted not getting the PS4. Not like overly regretted, but. And you're going to be able to play all their exclusive PS4s on if you have PS Gold or whatever. So that's cool. On the PS5, you'll be able to play them. Second question is, what kind of sports do you like? You know, I really like hockey. I almost lost last night, 2-1 in overtime. So Lightning took the series in 6. But you know, as an Islander fan, for them to get to the conference finals, it's been since 92-93. You know, they haven't. That franchise has been a disaster for a lot of reasons. You know, for the past over 20 years. So it was a cool run. Of course, you know, you're disappointed to see him lose, but you know, Lightning are probably the best team in the league, or top 2. So no shame losing to them. I thought it was going to be a destruction after they got killed 8-2 in the first game, but they actually slowed it down. It was, you know, a pretty competitive series, all things considered. But they do need a goal scorer. They need to figure it out. I know they have some cap issues, which is weird, but. They got a great defense, goaltending solid, but they definitely need a goal scorer. I still follow like football and basketball and baseball, but not. I used to be huge into football and basketball, especially. I used to lose my shit when my teams lost. And baseball, I was always kind of into, but never super into it. I used to play it when I was younger, but. Those are probably the main ones. Hockey's probably the main one I focus on, though, these days. I mean, like I said, I still follow. I mean, this is actually, I'll answer this question because it's coming up. It's actually after this, so I don't want to, although I think people might know anyway, but my team lost this weekend in football, and I was paying attention, but like, 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, I would have been like, or even 8, I would have been so pissed, and now I'm just kind of like, But yeah, it's hockey for now. And like I said before, watching soccer or football, and stuff like that. Even random stuff like curling, I find interesting. I watched a darts video the other day. This guy was nailing triple 20s like every time. It was crazy. And the third question is an interesting one actually. If you could design your own game, what would it be like? Actually, when I saw this question originally when it came in last week, I was like, I know exactly what I would make. And I'm surprised maybe the PC has a lot of these. I don't know. But I would absolutely make kind of like a ghost hunting type. The shows you see, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. There's like thousands of these ghost hunting shows. I would do a game like that. And you have to, and kind of almost like Tokyo's like Ghost Hunters. How you have certain things you got to use. Like you have to set up cameras. You got to try to find stuff. Is that fake? You got to try to debunk stuff. Super creepy. Maybe you see something. You're walking around like the first person view, trying to see stuff, and you go to different locations like houses, maybe like haunted woods or haunted cabin, haunted house, haunted ship, whatever. And maybe it's been done on the PC. I'm sure there is. PC does a lot of stuff. That's absolutely the game I would kind of design. Would just totally be like a paranormal ghost type game for sure. Because I'm into that stuff so much. It'd be so cool to kind of, you guys set up your cameras here. And if anybody knows one on PC, even though I won't be able to play it on my piece of shit laptop, but if anybody knows any, let me know. Maybe if when I get a better computer, I'll be able to play it. But that's the kind of stuff I like. Because I love survival horror, but I've never seen you got to do all this stuff, and maybe this house wasn't haunted, this one is, and stuff like that. And you can make it super creepy, so. All right, those are your questions. Thank you for those questions. Okay. Now here's the one I was talking about. This was from Luke J. He asked, what's your favorite NFL team? It's the Denver Broncos. I've liked them since, I want to say 90. They were 5-11, I think, in 90, but I always liked LA, and I started liking them. I got older, I started liking them more. My first, and they'd lost all the four Super Bowls beforehand, but I was too young. I was too young for most of them. I do remember them getting destroyed by the 49ers, 55-10, but wasn't super into it. And I started to like them. Then I got my first, really, and I used to get pissed back then. My real heartbreak was when they lost to Jacksonville in the 96 playoffs, I believe it was, right? It was the year before they won the back-to-back Super Bowls. They were like the 1 seed. I think they were 13-3. And Jacksonville beat them in a pretty close game, I believe. I lost it. I took a walk for I walked for 2 miles. I was so upset. It was crushing. That's how big of a fan, and people still are. Yeah, a lot of people who are fans know this, but I was I was just distraught, and then they won back to back, which was incredible. When they won that first one against Green Bay, I almost broke down to tears. I was so excited and just oh my god, they did it. Then they won the next one against the Falcons. Elway retired. They missed the playoffs. Then they made the playoffs, missed. Then Plummer comes. They have a little bit of success with Plummer. They actually the first team to beat Brady in the playoffs. They've always had success against the Patriots and Brady. It started to. They actually had a lot of success against him early, but then before, obviously he's on the Bucs now, but he started to get the better of them. Surprisingly, when Tebow was there, and then Peyton came, and he started beating him a little more. Although Peyton beat him in the playoffs the 2 times. But yeah, and when they lost that Super Bowl to Seattle, that was a bit crushing as well. They got destroyed. The first play of the game, safety. I'm this. I knew in my heart, the Seahawks are. Denver could match them talent-wise, offense against defense, but the intensity that the Seahawks were bringing, Denver could not match, and that totally was the game right there. And they got destroyed. And then they won the one against the Panthers, and I was happy they won, but I'd already started to lose interest in it, and I was happy, but I was not like it was in 97, 98. But yeah, Broncos are still my favorite team. I'm not as glued into them as I used to be. But thank you for your question. The next one is Samervex. I'm sorry, I'm saying some of these wrong. They asked 2 of the questions I've gotten. The first one is favorite bands. Once again, Helmet, Faith No More Ministry, Maiden. I said Floyd, Zeppelin. No, not Zeppelin as much. She's listening to Zeppelin more in high school. What's that band that sounds like him now? Greta Van Fleet. I was like, is this what the hell? When I first heard that one song. Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. I'll try to name some other different ones. Primus. Actually, I forgot about Primus. They're really good. A ton of stuff. A band I didn't get into a lot. My friends were into when I was younger, and I got into them a bit more when I was older, but still not super into. Is the Doors. The Doors. I was saying this to my friend because we were listening to them at the shop one time. It was something. It was he's like, oh yeah, the first 2 albums. I think we were listening to the first time. They have a real carnival. The music's very carnival-y, acid carnival. Yeah, the first albums do have that kind of vibe. But those are those bands. Favorite movies: Ravenous, Blair Witch. I forgot about the Star Wars, and the Lord of the Rings movies are really awesome as well. Really like those. Haven't watched those in a while. First Jurassic Park is really cool. I actually really like Jurassic Park 3 as well. Event Horizon was another good one that I just forgot to mention before. The first Scream I really liked a lot. Bringing Out the Dead, Nicolas Cage is a really good movie as well. But yeah, those are some more. And, thank you for the question. This is just like, I guess it's supposed to be like a smiley face. It's like the O_O asks. That's weird to say, but I don't know what that face is supposed to be. Do you or have you ever watched anime? Actually, yes, I have. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on this channel. I think I've mentioned some of the stuff. Read or Die, the TV, I really liked. I did watch Full Metal Alchemist, not all of it. Silent Mobius was one from, this had to be the late 90s, early 2000s that I liked. Gatekeepers 21 around that same time. I can't even remember what a lot of these were about. Because I used to go to Suncoast. Was it called Suncoast? In the mall. No, I think it was. And I used to buy some of these things, and they'd only have like a few episodes on them of these anime shows. But Read or Die was another one I really liked. I watched that, and recently I watched that one, Shiki. It was really good. It's like about vampires. There's another one called Another that I liked as well. Some kind of curse. Those are two I really liked. And they were just like one-offs. It was just like one season or series. Maybe it was two. I don't know. But it wasn't like a ton. But those are some of them. And there's other ones I'm sure I'm forgetting. I watched the Danganronpa, actually, anime. Yeah, that was really good. It's just like the first game. But yeah, I have watched it. I don't watch it a lot, but yes, I have watched it before. Just because some of it's so batshit insane, I love it. Like, it's just like, and a lot of it's cool stuff that I'm into, paranormal type stuff, or just kind of science fiction stuff as well. But yeah, thank you for your question. Next one in here is, what do you think about the start of the football teams this season's? Any predictions? Well, I wasn't really honestly paying too much attention, of course, with everything that's going on in 2020. COVID and how they're playing the games now, like barely any crowds. My interest wasn't there, and it still kind of isn't there. Predictions? I don't even know. I'm sure Kansas City will be there again. I'm sure Baltimore is going to be good. I know the 49ers lost to the Cardinals, right? But I don't know enough. Like, I didn't even know where some of the guys were. Some of the main free agents went and stuff. I hope Denver can make the playoffs. It'll be cool to see him make it. It's been like 3 years. And Drew Lock looks decent. He hasn't started a bunch, but not a lot. And Patriots will stay. His prediction: Patriots will probably still win that division. Brady left, and they're probably like, the other teams are probably like, yeah, we're gonna win. Buffalo, Dolphins, and Jets. Someone can take the division. And they sign Cam Newton. It's like, no, you can't. Yeah, but not, I don't really know. I'd say Chiefs and Seahawks would probably be really good as well. But like I said, my interest hasn't been there. Like, if this was like me like 5-6 years ago, I would have been like, going nuts. But oh, and by the way, that question was from Robert McKnight. Sorry, I did not say that before. Robert McKnight, thank you for your question. Here's two from Little Stocks. First one is, how old am I? You don't ask someone their age. I think I've mentioned it before, right? I'm 41. I've been told I look younger than that, which is good. Some people might not have known, but yes, I am. Just made it past the 40 mark, so I'm at 41. That's still young. I'm not one of those people that, like, I know people, and maybe some of you do it. I don't. It doesn't like piss me off, but it's always like someone's like, oh, they're like 26, and like, I'm so old. It's like, stop, just stop. Until you're 95 in a nursing home and you're shitting yourself, you're not old. And then it's funny because you might say that, and I probably said it maybe once I was a little younger. Then you hit 35, and you're like, oh my god, I wasn't old at 25, and I'm still not old at 35. And their second question is, what's your favorite game of all time? I did the top 10. Silent Hill 2 is always going to probably be number one. I love Silent Hill 2. I still need to do gameplay of it. Because I got it on the Xbox with the Silent Hill HD collection with 2 and 3. I love Silent Hill 2. It's creepy as hell. The story is still second to none in video games, in my opinion. Creepy as fuck. Pyramid Head is fucking amazing. It's a shame that he kind of got put in the movie and Homecoming, because he should have just, I typically don't get like this with stuff, but with Silent Hill, I'll sometimes be like, I won't care and I won't like lose my shit that he was in it. But Pyramid Head should have stayed in Silent Hill 2, because he was James's manifestation of James's mind, you know. But Silent Hill 2 is and will always probably be my favorite game. It's so good. And thank you for your questions. Tim Bob asks, these are related to my video, but he asks, what was your favorite character in the House universe, and are you restarting everything? Example, Alien series, Spy series, or is it just a new start for Shady? I don't know. You know what I really liked doing? I don't know if it was really a character, but the person doing the robot repairs was always fun. And when I first did those, I was more of a, I don't know if I ever really linked those to the Shady stuff. Maybe I didn't, but I was originally doing those because of the Deus, and kind of finding kind of the Deus Ex vibe. But you know, Shady himself's always fun to just kind of act. And always when I'm doing like the dentists and stuff like that, when I could use the weird stuff, and here's a screwdriver and the weird use props for it, it's always super fun. You know, I'm gonna start. You know, the new Shady videos will involve alien type stuff and everything else as well. I may try like maybe a robot repairs. I did one the other day, so maybe I'll have that be its own thing and continue doing stuff from that on its own, not related to the Shady videos or anything like that. But it was for, I guess, I don't know, the robot repairs technician. I don't know like who that character would be, but I always like doing those, and it's fun to kind of use, especially using like the last one. I just use all Nintendo stuff as tools, which is always fun. And their second one is, there is anything you wish you had done differently with the whole House series, or some areas you could have explored more? I do regret that, because people started like mentioning it. Tim Bob was one, and other people were like, oh, you know, it's like a kind of a series type thing. I didn't even look at it that way at first, and then I was like, shit, man. And even going forward after that, I wish I could have pieced. That's why I want to do it again, kind of just differently, obviously, but piecing the videos together much better so they flow better, and it's like continuations instead of kind of all over the map. I need to be better with that this time, so I need to kind of I'm going to probably make that first kind of Shady video for the new series, maybe in like a week or two, but I need to kind of really focus and almost write down what I'm doing so I kind of know where they're at and don't go off the rails as much as I did. I just hit the wrong button. I hate when sometimes you hit the thing and it's like report block. I'm like, I don't want to report or block anybody. Hit the wrong button. Nothing really. I didn't. Maybe more paranormal stuff explore with it, because I think that makes sense for the character. So maybe in this one I'll do more of those. I did some of them, but I think I was focusing more on the alien stuff. And the ways, like I said, it was all over the place, and that was the biggest regret, was not keeping it tight, you know. Or even kind of just restarting halfway and just being like, okay, this is, you know, how it's going to be from now on. But thanks for your questions, and there'll definitely be more of the Shady videos. Captain Carpenter asks, you mentioned that you've been to Vero Beach. I grew up there and was wondering why you chose the spot, because there's much to do. That's kind of cool that you grew up there. Well, the reason we've always gone to Vero Beach is because my family's always had houses. My mom and stepdad live down there now. My aunt's going to be going down there too. The Lake Wales area we're in. So Lake Wales is like almost dead center of Florida. So to the right, east, if you just go down 60 is Vero Beach, and it's only like an hour away. And if you go 2.5 hours west, Tampa is, you know, right there. You take 60 that way, you get to Tampa. So that's why we went to Vero, because it was the closest beach. Kind of a bland drive going that way, down 60. Vero Beach is really nice. It was funny when we went there. I think it was 2017. I hadn't been there in so long. I remembered some of the stuff because I went there a decent amount when I was a kid. But it was nice there. But yeah, the reason we chose it was because it was the closest beach, and it's right down 60. And it's a really nice beach. Much nicer than the beaches on Long Island. But I was going to say something else. What was it? And we went to Fellsmere too, which is right next to it, I believe, for that shrimp festival. But yeah, that's why we went to Vero. Because really, I mean, to go, if we wanted to go to the Gulf Coast, it would, like I said, be 2.5 hours. It's close, 60 minutes is nice. You could probably even get there a little quicker if you're moving. But like I said, Lake Wales is dead center, so it's almost perfectly located because you got a beach an hour away. Tampa's that way, about 2.5. Disney World and all that stuff in Orlando is like an hour and a half, hour and 15. So it's actually a pretty good location in terms of being away from stuff, but being close enough. And thank you for your question. And it sucks about the Islanders, man. They'll be back. Hopefully, they better be back, because I was telling my friend last night or this morning, I was like, now we have, as Islander fans, we actually have some expectations now. So it's a different feeling for Islander fans. Next question's from YouTube Watcher 420. It's a few of them. Have you ever been to another country? The only other country I've been to is Canada, which I don't know. Do you count? Like, obviously it's another country, but we're right next to each other. It's kind of like a weird, like, oh, you can go there whenever you please. Similar to the people in Europe who get to go to all these different countries that are so close, which is so cool. And Canada's fun. I've been there, I think, 3 times. Went to Toronto once, Niagara Falls, and that. Toronto was a little deep into, and Toronto's a nice city. Went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, went to a Blue Jays game. I think I might have talked about that. It was during the Dream Team 2, I believe, and we were at the zoo, and my friend came with me, and we're at the zoo. My friend looks at me, he's like, dude, I think that's Dan Marley over there. He was on the Suns, and he was on the Dream Team. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? No. And then we went to the Blue Jays game, and as we were leaving, we both look over, and it's Dan Marley and Mark Price. I was like, holy shit. Nobody knew who the hell they were either. Everybody was walking right past them. So we ran to get, I think I ran to my mom, like, oh, do you have a pen? And we went back. I was going to get their autographs, but they were gone. That's the only other country that I've been to. We've been thinking about going over to England, actually, maybe in the next, 3 years or something, like an England, Ireland type thing. I don't know if that's going to come to be, but there's another question coming up that's a little bit related to this, so I'll get to that too. That's the first one. Second one is, who's your favorite ASMR other YouTuber? I haven't been listening to watching any ASMR really lately. ASMR Bro is really great. My ASMR addiction I like, but like I said, I haven't been watching a lot of ASMR. It's crazy. I've been making a ton of videos lately. I haven't been watching a lot. I like going to Giant Bomb and stuff like that for video game stuff. But Amica ASMR, AMICA ASMR is really good. You guys need to check. She deserves so many more subs. Just check her out. For sure. It's AMICA ASMR. Maybe I'll put her link in the description. I've done it once in the past, but she still deserves more subs. There's quite a few ASMRs, so I've watched, and a lot of them were very small, and then a lot of the people just stopped making vids, which of course sucks, but as long as the vids that they have are still up there, it's really good. Like there was ASMR Artiste and somebody else, I can't remember, but they've been gone for a while. ASMR Gaming News is really awesome. If you're into, you want your gaming news in a really relaxing voice, he is excellent as well. That's the second question. The third one is, would you ever write a story, create a game? I'd actually like to write a story. I used to not write, but I would write short things, but I always didn't like writing because I always felt weird writing stuff. This is a weird thing where it would seem weird to me, but I know other people would like it. It's odd, but I would love to write like some kind of science fiction X-Files type stuff. Would really be cool. Maybe one day I'll just sit down and write a bunch of that, because that would be really fun to do. And instead, create a game would totally be a paranormal type thing, like I said before, hunting ghosts and stuff, and just creepy stuff. So what was that type stuff? But in terms of the writing stuff, yeah, I would love to write like a science fiction type thing with all types of different characters and stuff. It would be really cool. X-Files type of thing. It'd be really cool. Thank you for your questions. Next ones here are AJ Cole. AJ Cole asks, what's your favorite gum? I guess it would be this Tropical Twist Trident. I get it all the time, and I really like it. I've gotten the cinnamon one as well. I think there's a watermelon. Actually, it was watermelon Airhead gum that was really good. I'm not super into gum, to be honest with you. Somebody gave a request a while back, and I did it, and people love it. So I kind of just get it, but to do the videos, I don't chew it other than making videos, so Tropical Twist, I would say, is probably the top that I've liked so far. And then the next one is, what's your favorite game of all time at the moment for each gaming device you have? I gotta think of everything, but favorite game of all time is Silent Hill 2 again. At the moment, I'd probably say Octopath Traveler I've been loving. And that's probably my favorite game right now for the Switch. I'll go by the systems I really have played a ton of. N64 would be Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Incredible game. It's just a phenomenal game. It has glitches in it, which sucks, but for an adventure game, I love that game so much. I own it, but my friend has it right now. I need to borrow that and play it again. For the Sega Genesis, NHL 94 is awesome. Still one of my favorite games of all time. So my favorite sport game, that's for sure. Love that one. On the Vita, Deathmark would probably take it, or the Uncharted game. Uncharted Golden Abyss is really awesome. And Deathmark's really cool. I like Deathmark. It's a visual horror novel type game. It's really cool. And the Uncharted game is really fun as well. Great adventure game. On the Xbox One, maybe The Witcher. I guess, for like PS2, Xbox, it would be Silent Hill 2. GameCube, I really liked Eternal Darkness. That was a great survival horror game that they got. The Resident Evil remake was awesome too. Probably Eternal Darkness though. The Xbox would be The Witcher. Yeah, I guess The Witcher. There's a few on the Xbox that I like. Sunset Overdrive was awesome. Resident Evil 7 was fucking awesome. The Resident Evil 2 remake was awesome. Original Nintendo, it's probably like Cobra Triangle. It's a boat game that was awesome. POW is really cool. The Mario games are really cool. It's harder to with the earlier systems. Defender of the Crown, I really loved. Maniac Mansion, I loved. Point and click game, that was really good. Awesome music as well. Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy 3 or 6. It was 3 here originally, 6 in Japan. They've since released it as 6 for the Game Boy Advance and a couple other systems. GBA, I haven't played enough GBA. I've had it over the years, but the Harry Potter game's really cool on the GBA. Like I said, I haven't played enough original PlayStation stuff, and the Wii U. Bayonetta 2 was awesome. I really liked Bayonetta 2. I want the third one to come out soon. Yeah, I'd probably say that for that. I liked a lot of stuff on the Wii U. Super Mario World 3D, 3D World, a lot of stuff I liked on the Wii U. I'd probably say Bayonetta 2 though. What else is there? I mean, if PS2, I could say GTA Vice City and give Xbox Silent Hill 2, because Vice City is still my favorite GTA game. Loved it. TurboGrafx 16, it would be Bloody Wolf. I wish I still had my TurboGrafx 16. Bloody Wolf was awesome. It was like a top-down game where you're just running and shooting everything. Similar to like Akari Warriors or Commando. I'm missing a bunch of systems, I'm sure. Motocross Maniacs on the original Game Boy, definitely. Did I say N64? Yeah, I said ND. Xbox 360, PS3. Maybe the first Uncharted on PS3. I love the first Uncharted. And it'd probably be Dead Rising on the Xbox 360, because Dead Rising's in my top games of all time. I love Dead Rising so much. I'd definitely say that for the 360. Maybe Uncharted. The first Uncharted's so nostalgic, and it's just good. It's not just nostalgic feelings, but I'd say those. I probably missed a few systems, but the Wii, I don't know. I haven't played enough full games on the Wii to know. But thank you for your questions. And the next one is Ermac asks, if you could only keep a single console for the rest of your life, which one would it be? A little tough. I'd probably go. See, it's gonna come down to the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. That's what it's gonna come down to. It it's hard. It's so hard when it comes to these two systems because I love them both, and that's like I was a young kid when I was playing the NES. 7 to 10 or 11, and I was playing the Super Nintendo and Genesis, even TurboGrafx. When I was like 11, 10 to 15 or whatever, 16, 17, and I it's so tough. Maybe Super Nintendo because they had the better RPGs. Genesis didn't have a ton of them. They had Shining Force, they had some other ones, but Super Nintendo had the two Final Fantasies. They had Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, both Breath of Fire games, stuff like ActRaiser, UN Squadron. Yeah, I think I gotta give the Super Nintendo the nod for now. But, thank you. That was Ermac, yeah, sorry. Thank you for your question. This is from Alex Tutorin, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Which ASMR channel inspired you to start recording? I think I've said this in the past. I think it's Secret ASMR. It was the person who I was looking for their video game stuff, and I found that channel. I'm like, what is this? I saw her. She was doing these. I forget what videos she's doing. She doesn't make videos anymore either. I don't even know if the channel's still up, to be honest with you. It was still video game related stuff, but some other stuff like eating and stuff. But I really liked it, and that's the one that inspired me. Where I was like, oh, I want to try this. This is a thing. I didn't know the way it felt is a thing. I didn't know what it was called. So that was definitely a channel for sure that I was like, I gotta give this a shot. And then there was other ones, like ASMR Gaming News, my ASMR addiction. Very early on, I was watching their stuff a lot. I was like, this is like their stuff. That was ASMR Nordic, I believe. I don't know if he's made a video in a while. But yeah, it was Secret ASMR was the one that kind of inspired me to do it. I was like, I want to try this. I'm gonna give this a shot, and here we are, 4 years later. Hopefully hear from more than that. But thank you for your question. Next one here is from Gavin Robinson. Any tips on dealing with anxiety? I had it when I was younger, and I've seemed to develop it over quarantine again, and I was wondering if you could provide any insight. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you had it when you were young, and now it's come back. That's frustrating. I don't know. I do a lot of breathing stuff. I do a lot of almost like letting go, but not I almost focus out when I'm in a situation that I don't like, while I'm still there, and I almost put myself on autopilot. It's weird. But I do breathing techniques. I take walks to calm myself down. I watch ASMR to calm myself down. If I'm not feeling it, But I like breathing techniques. I help them, not, look at yourself and not, because I still do focus on what the other response is going to be, instead of my own confidence in myself. I'm worried about what people are going to say, and it's a thing if you have that issue, you got to say, I'm the one here. This is, my show or whatever, But really just breathing techniques, watch ASMR, anything that will get your mind off things, maybe play a video game or something. Take walks, and get fresh air sometimes help clear your mind. Even meditating sometimes, even if you're just kind of sitting there zoning out kind of stuff. But that's what I do in public sometimes. If I'm not feeling it, I kind of almost let myself go, where I'm still operating, like I said, autopilot, but I'm out. I'm not, fully involved. I'm almost kind of just trying to push the anxiety down or whatever. But I wish I can give you more tips on that. I really do. But if I ever come across any, I will let you know. Anything else that helps, because I'm still dealing with it as well. So, but I hope you do find something that helps you with it for sure. And thank you for the question. Here's a men has two. The first one is, how tall am I? 5'11", maybe 5'10", or 5'11", 6 foot. I don't know. I think it's 5'11". A solid height, I guess. Second one is, what does your fiance look like? I'm not really super comfortable with asking that. I mean, all I can say is she's short and has dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, and she's very good looking. At least I think so. And that's all that matters. But an interesting question, but I'm not gonna show a picture or anything. Maybe one day she'll pop up in a video with me. I don't know if I've ever asked her before. Maybe I'll get her in a video someday if she wants to. I don't know. Don't hold me to that, please. But thanks for your questions. That was Man. Next person here is Gabriel De La Cruz. Is it Gabriel or Gabrielle? I want to say Gabriel. I'm wrong. I apologize. It's 3 questions. The first one, double work. Where do you work? What do you do for? I assume they're all kind of the same thing. Well, I sell stuff on eBay, and part-time at a screen printing shop, which they make shirts and stuff like that. They print shirts and other things, sweatpants. They print designs onto shirts and whatnot. Silk screening. And I clean the screens there. I fold the shirts, box up shirts, unbox stuff like that. Do that kind of stuff, pack stuff up. That, and I sell stuff on eBay, which I need to do some more because I kind of got out of it. But I haven't been getting many days lately, so I'm focusing a little more on eBay at the moment. But I mean, I guess those are all similar questions. They all seem to be, but thank you for them. Next one is Harley Quinn. Why are you so handsome? Well, thank you for the compliment. I'm glad you think that. I think I'm alright looking, I suppose. I don't know why I am. I just am. That's because I'm so great, I guess. I don't grow up this way. I do, and a lot of people said I have this thing, which has been mentioned before. Someone said it was pop the zit. I'm like, that's not a zit, that's a growth. My fiance's like, just get the thing chopped off. I'm like, no. Which is weird, I know, but I pick at it and it starts to bleed. But off topic, I think I'm alright, and a lot of people said I look younger than I am, which is always nice. But thank you for your question and the compliment. That was from Harley Quinn. Next one here is from Joe Dirt. They ask, what's it like living in New Jersey? I think it was, or is it Rhode Island? Well, it's neither, actually. It's New York. Between them almost. Long Island, to be exact. And people from Long Island almost don't like to say they're from New York, and people from New York upstate don't like to say they're from Long Island. It's all right here. I mean, it's hard because New York's different experiences, right? If you live upstate, it's a different experience. You live in the city or, one of the 5 boroughs, it's a different experience. Long Island, you get a little bit of a blend of both. There's a lot of people on Long Island. I was in Nassau for most of my life. For someone with anxiety and stress, it can be tough because a lot of people are always on edge on Long Island. I'm out in Suffolk now. It's a little more lax, but it's much of the same, a little more open. But, it's cool in its way. I mean, it kind of sucks because you're stuck on an island if something really bad happens. There's beaches if you're into that. There's some state parks on Long Island. You can go out east to wineries, which is cool. You have the Islanders here. They were in Uniondale for a while, and they went to Brooklyn, and now they're going to be in Belmont, or Elmont at Belmont Racetrack. Long Island's cool. I mean, if you're not into a lot of people, it can be tough because there's a lot of people. That's why during the peak quarantine, it's crazy when you were out on the streets and there was like nobody around. It was weird. And like I said, if you have anxiety and stress, it can be tough because, you might run into confrontation decent amount of time because people are on edge a lot, but because it's very expensive to live here, taxes are super high. Property taxes, I mean, we don't own a house, we're in an apartment, but property taxes are through the roof. But it's not a bad place overall. You get all the seasons. You don't get really hit with any serious natural disasters, and we got hit with Hurricane Sandy, which was bad. And we've had some other, like Gloria back in the 80s was another one. And we've had some other ones. And sometimes you get, like a 2-foot snowstorm from time to time as well. But snow's weird here. It's very unpredictable, the weather. Sometimes you'll have a super hot summer. Next summer it's cool. You'll have a 50, 60, 70-inch snow season, which I know for some places is they would take that in a heartbeat. But for here it's a lot. And then we only probably had like 6 inches of snow all of last season. So Long Island's very unpredictable with its weather. But it's an alright place to live. I mean, it's not terrible. It has its ups and downs. But thank you for the question. Next one comes from Just Gamers. They asked, do you watch pro wrestling? And if so, what's your favorite match? I don't I used to watch it. I've watched it on and off over the years. I haven't in a while. I'll watch like Austin Creed's channel or Xavier Woods, but he calls himself Austin Creed on there. I guess that was his name somewhere else, TNA or something. I don't know. But and Oscar's channel is adorable. I like the thing I really like about wrestling. My favorite match, I really like the. It was a ladder match between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. It was WrestleMania 10. I had the tape. I really like that match. And it was Shawn Michaels. It was the first Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. Not the first one they ever had, but it was like 2009, I think. And then the next one he fought him and he retired. Except he wrestled in Saudi Arabia, didn't he, recently? That was a really good one. The thing about wrestling for me is, though, I really like watching the behind-the-scenes stuff, like when they're traveling on the road and stuff like that, and going to the arenas and behind. Like, that stuff fascinates me when it comes to wrestling, like 100%. Oh, there's a ladder match actually as well between the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys. They had a couple of them, I think, right? The TLCs. I really like Christian as a wrestler. Edge was cool too. Chris Jericho, Randy Orton and stuff. When I was younger, I remember watching Hogan. I was in 6th grade watching Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. I forget what WrestleMania it was. And I was at my friend's house watching the order on pay-per-view. And I was like, who are you rooting for? You know, it was crazy. It was such a big deal at the time. But not a lot of, like, matches. Like, Mr. Perfect was cool, too. Bret Hart and stuff. I can't remember a lot of matches. I'm always fascinated with the behind-the-scenes stuff and their travel schedules and stuff. To me, it was always fascinating. And I like listening to them talk, too. Like, I listened to Edge and Christian's podcast for a while. Now it's stopped because Edge came back. And then got hurt. I'm always, like, keeping up on wrestling, even though I don't really watch it. Which is weird. But, yeah. It's always fun to kind of watch it from time to time, and I've had some of the games in the past as well. But thank you for your question. I'm trying to see how many I have left here. This is going to be my longest video now. I'm running out of steam. I should have brought a drink up. Next one is from Tailored ASMR. What's a rare game that you would love to have? What's the best find you ever got from a garage sale? What game have you put the most time into through the years of gameplay? A rare game that I would love to have. Probably be Rule of Rose or Haunting Ground. I know, like, complete those run more than $100 or something. I guess that, they are rare, and I look at it as not even as much as the price as that. I'm never gonna find that game anywhere in the wild other than buying it at a store. I'm not gonna. If I find that at a garage sale, I'll be shocked. When I found Ghost Hunter at the garage sale, I was super shocked. I'd say Rule of Rose or Haunting Ground because the survival horror games are I love, and they sounded cool. I think Haunting Ground, you had the dog as a companion. Rule of Rose was like a really disturbing game that took place in like a school or something like that, like a prep school or something. But I'd say, yeah, one of those two. Could be something on Super Nintendo as well, but I have most of the stuff I liked on Super Nintendo or played it. Maybe like Splatterhouse 3 or something on Genesis as well would be another one. Second one is what's the best find I ever got from garage sale. The Ghost Hunter was really good. I got Final Fantasy 7 for $7. That was good. Those games I got last year from the DS was incredible for $1 a piece. Some of those games were nuts. My overall best, I guess, when you say profit or something, best find was it was a Django Fett. It's the Slave one. Was it called Slave one? I don't know. But it was that complete. I think it was missing like one little thing, but I got that for, I think that was $7, and I sold it for like $120. I've never gotten anything crazy where I get something for $1 and sells for like $5,000. That was my best buy, my best pickup. I got stuff like the lot of Super Nintendo games was really good. The Ghost Hunter and Cold Fear were great pickups as well. I've come across, some toys, the Muscle Men. I think I did a video on this channel actually of it. Garage sale pickup. I got Muscle Men. There's like 2 bags of Muscle Men for $3. The little Muscle Men figures. They were the pink little guys, and some were orange and red and whatever. I made probably over $100 just on those too. That was really good as well. So those are probably my best ones. And what game have you put the most time into through the years of gameplay? That's got to be Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Only because it's not like playing it one time. I played it the first time. I played it for like 100 hours. I played it again for like 150 hours. Then I played it a third time. I didn't beat it the third time, but I put like another 90 hours into it. So I put like over 300 hours probably into that game. Or around 300 hours, I should say. That's the one I probably put the most time into over the years for sure. Skyrim, I've put a lot in, but not nearly as much as Oblivion. And Morrowind as well. Yeah, it's got to be Oblivion though for sure. And thank you for your questions. Next one here is Ryan Flynn asks, what's the story behind your profile picture? That's just me. We were in Salem. I think that was 2014. We were in Salem. It was around Halloween. And we were walking around this graveyard where like people are buried, like known people from that era and that time during the witch trials and stuff are buried. And this guy was just in the Michael Myers outfit with the mask, and people were going up to him, and he was getting, putting the hand by the throat. And I'm like, I'm getting nervous and anxious. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go up to him and get a picture. And I finally did. And he took it. And then I found out the guy who actually played him, I forget in which movies, was actually there for some convention or something that weekend. I'm like, oh, maybe it was the actual dude. But that was the story behind it. He was just there taking pictures, being nice, and taking pictures with people. So, and I'm glad I went and did it, because a lot of times I wouldn't do that because I'd be too anxious and nervous too. But I'm glad I did. And thank you for the question, Ryan Flynn. We got a couple left here. Oh, 6 left. One time graduate asks, bit random, but when did you lose your hair? You are still rocking the shaved head, man. I lost my hair, unfortunately, when I was young, like too young, early 20s, maybe like 21 or something. It sucked. At first it sucked, but I didn't care as much because I wore a hat, which is probably the reason I lost it. I always wear a hat, but it was from my dad's genetics, I don't know. And then I buzzed my head in like 04, and I was like, my friend's like, you look like you're 12. And like all of a sudden I got younger. I was like, my hair's falling out, but I got younger by buzzing my head. But yeah, I'll always rock it. I'll let it grow for a little bit. It doesn't grow on the top much, but I'll let it grow and shave it like every 2 or 3 weeks or something. It looks fine. I'm actually glad because it's easier than going to the barbershop. So at first though, I was like, oh my God, like really? Like, isn't this supposed to happen like at least in your mid 30s? But what are you gonna do, right? But thank you for your question. Next one is Calvin Shepard asks, what is the most overrated video game in your opinion? I don't know. I would say like, trying to think of like some console exclusives that kind of people blew a load over that weren't that good. I don't know. That's a tough question, actually. I kind of wish I researched that a little bit. Halo 2 is kind of overrated, I think. I like it, but I think it's kind of, people freaking lost it when that game came out, and I played it and beat it in like 4 hours. So I was like, what the hell? But it was still good, and then I was like, I should have just put it on a hard difficulty so it lasted longer, but it wasn't as good as the first one, and people were making it seem like it was better. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other games that. It's probably definitely Halo 2, one of them. I'm trying to think of like a recent game. I don't know. I would probably say Halo 2. Like, I don't think a lot of games are super overrated. And I wouldn't need to have played them. Like, I could easily say some of this other random stuff that people like lose their shit over, but it's probably for me Halo 2, and I like Halo 2, but like people just went nuts for that game. Some RPGs will fall into that too. They're like, this game's incredible. You start playing, you're like, what the hell? But I can't really think of any, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I couldn't answer that better. I would say Halo 2 myself personally, and that was a big title. Maybe Metal Gear Solid 4 too. People I like that game quite a bit too, but people really like there was like the second coming. Maybe those two. I don't know. If I ever think of a better one, I'll let you know. Thank you for the question as well. Next three come from Barry James. The first one is what made you do ASMR. That, like I said, was finding the secret ASMR channel and deciding I wanted to do it. And seeing some of the other videos as well after that and be like, I want to give this a shot as well. So that's the reason I started. Second one is, how long have you known your fiance and how'd you guys meet? We've been together since 2013, engaged in 2017. We met on OkCupid. Is OkCupid still a site? It's an online site that we met. That's how I met a lot of people, because of just meeting people in person. Like, not chatting with them online first is extremely hard for me. But we met it, and then we went to Dave & Buster's, and she thought I wasn't into her because, once again, anxieties. I'm like looking at the ground and stuff, not making eye contact. And we hung out again. And again and again and again. And, here we are 7 years later. Almost 7 years later. Not quite 7 yet. But since 2013, and we met on OkCupid. It's got to still be a thing, OkCupid, right? Somebody let me know if it is. And the last one is, what do you do for a living, and what are your normal days like? Said eBay, selling on eBay, and part-time when I can get it at the silkscreen printing shop, my friend. What are your normal days like? It's either working with him or, hanging out here, making videos, listening to stuff on eBay, going for walks, hanging out, playing video games, watching some friggin' movies on, some found footage movies on Amazon or something like that. Watching YouTube vids as well, but I haven't been watching as many vids lately. Listening to music and all that kind of stuff. And yes, he says, hope you got enough questions. I did get enough questions, and thank you for yours. Alright, so it looks like I got two left. This first one of the two is from T. Colton Koss. The zombie apocalypse is coming, and you can bring three things. What do you bring? Well, I guess I'd need some kind of weapon, right? Like, I need like a solid kind of gun, maybe some kind of machine gun with a lot of bullets. And maybe like a nice stockpile. But if I'm only bringing three things, it would have to be a gun, like a canteen to get water in. Maybe like a machete or something as well, right? Extra weapon to have just in case the gun jams up, and the machete can cut wood and do some, not seriously thick wood, but it can cut through some wood and stuff and help out in a jam. Maybe even like a hammer would be good too, if you're like, because hammer you can maybe bust open some locks and stuff. I mean, you can put anything through a window, so that doesn't matter. It's a little quieter though if you got zombies around, if you're popping something with a hammer instead of throwing a brick through a window. I feel like you have to have a gun though, just because of people as well. Almost more for people, when the psychos that are like, give me your stuff. Canteen would just be because you could fill it up with water or whatever you come across, some kind of source of getting liquids in you. Food you'd have to kind of do as you went, but yeah, I'd say a gun, some kind of gun. You think it would have, even if it was just like a pistol or something, I feel like you'd have to have something with a couple of clips at least, and you'd have to be smart with your ammunition. And a machete, some kind of chopping tool. Even maybe a hatchet would probably work as well, actually, like a nice size hatchet. And a canteen, yeah. Those would be pretty decent. Also, if it means, like, if the question means something like, you're going to get out of here and you're going to be safe, it would be like a video game system. Yeah, a TV and stuff like that. I don't know. A computer. But yeah, for like surviving, I guess, it would be a gun, like a machete or a hatchet, a hammer. One of the three, and a canteen. And thank you for your question. And this last one here is from Lors26. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? And they say, thank you for the videos. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy them. I said I might be taking and we might take a trip over to England and Ireland and stuff like that. I want to do there because I'm part Irish and part English, part German as well. I might be part Scottish too. I don't know. But the place I would love to go to, but it's just I feel it's too much of a far flight. You never know though. Would be Japan, because I don't know, something about Japan's always fascinated me. The video game scene obviously is awesome. You know, they're like the kings. Anytime I watch it or see pictures of it and watch movies, there's something about it. Like I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to explain, but I love the look of the temples and stuff, and just I don't know. It looks like a really nice place. Their cities are like vibrant and stuff like that. You know, I've seen people like do videos over there when they're going into like video game stores that have like bins full of Dreamcasts and stuff like that. It's just like, oh my god. But yeah, I would say, you know, Japan for sure. Just because of the video game stuff, and I don't know, the culture or whatever. I don't know, it fascinates me, and I'd love to see it. Although if I went there, I'd have to know some of the language before going there. I just would not be too much of a culture shock for me. Like I would have to be able to communicate with people, at least basic stuff. But yeah, thank you for your question, and thanks everybody for your questions. This was my longest video now, so I got a lot of questions there. Let me make sure 3, 4. Yeah, it looks like I answered them all. But yeah, that's my Q&A here. I need to get a drink and go to the bathroom. But see, I don't edit or anything, so I wouldn't have just edited, went to the bathroom. It's kind of stupid, I know, but that's how I do things. But thanks for checking it out, and have a good day.